I'm going to try out this new Aroma little pressure cooker that I got the other day. So I don't know, I plugged it in, and so far it beeps when I plug it in, but it doesn't turn on. So I don't know, I may have to take this back to the store. Anyway, I'm making a recipe, and these are 3 potatoes and a large carrot cut in chunks. And I got it from this recipe book. It's called 4-Ingredient Cookbook. As easy as 1, 2, 3, over 700 ingredient recipes. And this one is supposed to be 3 cookbooks in one. Can't remember where I got it. I've had it for a while. But anyway, it's only supposed to be 4 ingredients. And here is the recipe. It's mashed potatoes and carrots. And it has the calories and everything in there, 66.59. Anyway, I want to give this a try. Okay, so the pressure cooker seems to be working fine. It's counting down the minutes. It was going round and round and round there, and then once it started with the pressure cooking, it went to a 3P. So I'm thinking that's 3 pounds of pressure, and it doesn't make a lot of noise. Okay, now apparently it's done. So there's a release button up here. So I'm going to give that a try because it's potatoes and carrots. So I don't want it to cool by itself, to come down by itself. So I'm going to give that a try, and hopefully that works as well. It's got an exhaust. I don't know if you can see that. It's got an exhaust, an airtight, and another exhaust. So let's see how that works. And it comes down pretty easy. I'm going to give it a minute or two because I don't want this lid to blow off. So I'll unplug this and then I'll see if the food is ready. So far it's pretty easy to use. I did try to move it once and it kind of unplugged itself from the back, so maybe I just didn't have it plugged in there enough. But so far I like it. So let's see what we've come up with. Well, back in the day, I used to cook with a stovetop pressure cooker, and that I'm kind of used to cooking with. This is something a little newer for me, but this is like a little Instapot. So let's see here. I'm going to unplug this just in case. I'll unplug it here. There we go. Now the pressure's out. I checked it. It says to always remove it away from yourself. It was real easy to close. And now let's see how easy it is to open. And you want to open it away from your face because it still has a lot of hot steam in there. So it looks like it's good. Let me just test it and see. Now the carrots still need a little time. So I had set this for 3 minutes, and it doesn't seem like that's long enough. So I'm going to turn this on again. It looks like it needs probably about 5 minutes. So I'm going to give it a little more time, but that was operator error. That wasn't the fault of the machine. So I'm going to plug this back in and give it another couple minutes. Turn it back on. So you hit the keep warm, then you hit the pressure setting, and set it 1 minute. I'm going to give it 2. Well, I'm going to give it another 3 minutes. And then it keeps going until, now see, it stops, and then this little thing goes round and round. So and then that will stop too. But it's set for 3 minutes, and then it starts the countdown. But it's got to build the pressure back up, and got to make sure you close that, otherwise the pressure won't build. So far I like it. I think it works real well. I couldn't remember how long I used to cook potatoes when I used the stovetop one, but I think it was 5 minutes now that I think of it. So 3 minutes wasn't enough. And there's this little valve back here, that's the pressure valve. So it'll steam for a little bit and then it stops. But it's not like the stovetop pressure cooker where you hear the not at all. This is just real quiet. You don't hear anything. So anyway, so far I like it. I think it's a great little device for 1 or 2 people, empty nesters or single people. I think it's a real quick and easy way to cook. And I hadn't used this cookbook for a while. So, like I said, I don't remember where I got it. I think I got it one of the used bookstores or something. Half-price books maybe. But the recipe calls for, it's got a nice binding to it. The recipe calls for 4 potatoes peeled and cut into chunks, 1 large carrot, 1/3 cup of skim milk. I'm going to use plant-based milk, and a teaspoon of dried dill leaves. Now I did add some garlic salt to the cook water because I like very flavorful food, so that's what I put on there. And anyway, this cookbook is written by Linda Coffey and Emily Cake. I don't know if it's on Amazon, but for 4 ingredients, that's pretty darn good, and it's 700 recipes. So anyway, I thought I'd give this recipe a try today. Okay, so it beeped 3 times. It'll do that when the time runs out. So I'm going to release the exhaust again. You have to be careful because it does come out pretty quick. So you don't want to have your hand up on the top of that because it's very hot steam. And I wanted to mention too, the cookbook that I'm using, the 4-ingredient cookbook, is not a pressure cooker cookbook, but there are really a lot of recipes in there that you could probably stick in the pressure cooker. It's got meat recipes, it's got chicken, fish, beef, vegetables, desserts. So it looks like it's a good cookbook. Alright, anyway, this is looks like it's done. I'm going to unplug it again and see if it's done this time. I haven't pressure cooked in a long time, so I need to get used to this. So again, you want to open it away from your face. Once the pressure's gone, watch the steam coming out. Be careful. And let's see. Okay. Well, the potatoes are done. The carrots, actually, some of the bigger chunks, could use a little longer, but it's good enough to mash. So I would recommend cutting the carrots no thicker than this. because this big chunk here, this was a really big carrot. Let me see if I can get it out of there. It's still a little, that's a little big, so I would cut that in half. But the potatoes are done. So it took about 6 minutes, and it's done. I'm going to put this in a bowl and mash it up and finish the recipe. I just wanted to show you the inside of the pot, and it looks like it holds 4 cups when it's full. So it's not very big, but like I said, for 1 or 2 people, a quick meal, I mean, I think it's great. So anyway, I wanted to show you that. And I've put my carrots and potatoes in a bowl. Okay, so I've mashed up the potatoes and the carrots. This is what it looks like. I think I'd almost add a little more carrot to it, maybe two large carrots and 3 or 4 potatoes. And like I said, I added some garlic salt when I was cooking it. So anyway, my mom used to make something very similar to this when I was growing up, and I always liked it. It was really, really tasty. And she used to put bacon in it. That's back when I ate meat. But, so what I'm going to add, because I can't ever leave a recipe alone, I'm going to add a little of the bacon salt. I've talked about this in a couple other recipes. It's really good if you're plant-based, you don't want to eat meat, you don't want to eat bacon. It gives it a real nice bacony flavor. And I'm just going to shake this in. I would say start out with a 1/4 teaspoon if you've already salted what you have. I cook by taste. The recipe doesn't call for pepper, but like I said, I can't leave anything alone. So I'm going to add some fresh ground pepper to it. Not too much, unless you like it real peppery, just a little bit. So I'm going to put that in. Now the recipe calls for a teaspoon of dill. I personally like parsley, so I'm going to put a teaspoon of parsley in, and if you have fresh, that's even better. So a teaspoon of that. I'm going to put a little bit of dill in, but not as much. I'm not going to put a teaspoon in, so maybe a 1/2 teaspoon, 1/4 teaspoon of the dried dill. And again, I can't leave well enough alone. The original recipe calls for 1/3 cup of skim milk. I used almond milk, just regular old almond breeze. And if you're watching your calories, you know, this is a really good low-calorie recipe. But I'm not watching mine right now, even though I should be. So I'm going to add a little bit of vegan butter to it. And then I'm going to start out with a 1/4 cup of almond milk, because I only use 3 potatoes instead of 4. So I'll add more if I need to, but in that goes. And then I'm going to mash it up some more, and we'll see what it tastes like. And to me, that 1/4 cup is plenty. And if you really like it whippy, you can do this with a mixer or an immersion blender if you like the real creamy mashed potatoes. But I like this a little bit rustic. I like the chunks. So I'm just incorporating the ingredients here. So this is what we have, and I'm going to give this a taste. Got to get a spoon. Now that should be enough for 3 or 4. And like I said, I used 3 potatoes. They weren't real big potatoes. and I used 1.5 carrots maybe, but I think I'd almost like this with a little bit more carrot in it. But I'm going to give this a taste and see if I need to season it any differently. So, give it a taste. I think I'd like a little more of the bacon salt, since I didn't put much salt in there. And I love salt. I know, it's bad for you. But I guess we all like what we like. So another thing you can use if you're plant-based, if you don't have the bacon salt, you can use the veggie chips, the bacon chips. Some of those are plant-based. You have to read the ingredients, make sure there aren't any flavorings stuck in there that are actually meat related. So I'm going to give this another taste. I'm the only one eating this, so yeah, and that's very tasty. So, and you can do this actually with cauliflower or really any vegetable you want. It's a quick and easy meal as a side dish. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you and try out my new little pressure cooker. I like it a lot. I think it did a great job. So anyway, that's it for today. So abundant blessings to you, my friends. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.